a new experience for me. These consultations were 3 categories: pre-ops, post-op, or new cases. New cases took the longest. They were either new patients in general or returning patients with a different diagnosis. We would call them in. They would tell us what happened, how long they were experiencing it, and what they believed the problem to be. Dr. Romero would just then talk to them, explain, do some tests, and tell them what the problem actually was and what the next steps would be for them. The next category was pre-ops. During pre-ops, these were patients who had already consented to having surgery on them, but they needed to come in so Dr. Romero could run some last-minute tests, such as mobility tests, heart and lung tests, and other basic checkups to ensure us that they were a healthy candidate for surgery. Once we concluded that they were candidates, we would then schedule them for as soon as possible. Finally, post-ops, which I believe were the most satisfying, because these were patients that were usually 4 to 6 weeks out of surgery, and they were coming to show us the progress which they had made. All the post-ops which I got to encounter were all successful people. They were having great progress. They were all returning to their everyday lives, and they were very thankful, and they were hopeful. Besides basic checkups such as these, we also performed cortisone shots. So we would use an ultrasound machine to guide the needle into the correct spot and then inject anti-inflammatory fluid to give the patient some joint relief. Although we told most patients that these results weren't guaranteed, I saw about 5 to 6, and they were all successful. So my senior project allowed me to connect with these experienced professionals who were extremely dedicated to the work of patients, and they taught me things like technical terms, the process and how to diagnose a patient. That's not what I found the most important. The most important experience that I got from this was what a doctor really does. Everyone knows that being a doctor requires 2 parts. The first part is what most people think about, education. The amount of time, effort, and studying a doctor must go through to achieve the status. But this isn't what isn't important. Anyone can study if they really want to. Being a doctor requires someone who actually cares about their patients and wants to help other people on a personal level. This is what I experienced under Dr. Romero. I experienced a doctor who never stopped working for his patients around the clock. He was available at all times. He helped his patients, and he saw himself as an equal to his patients. He never saw himself above. They were equals striving for the same goal. Experiencing this relationship had solidified my interest in pursuing medicine at UCLA. I will keep these moments in mind when I have a doubt about the journey. I remember seeing these patients smile when they are given hope that there is a solution. I have constantly heard about the rigorous workload and the years it will take me to achieve my goal, but this does not faze me anymore. I know it will be a long journey, and I'm prepared for it. Dr. Romero told me that it's a long journey, but you just have to take it one step at a time and enjoy every single step. This is what I plan to do. Enjoy the journey, because like my senior project, I know that it will be one of a kind. And I'm grateful that I got the opportunity to work with such talented professionals, and I would like to take this time to thank Dr. Romero and all his staff, along with Coach Lopes, for helping me with my senior project. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Questions?
How much did you get to talk to the actual patients?
I worked with him all day at the office, 3 days at the office each week, and I only had to miss like 2 or 3 patients, just because they were just some special patients. So I pretty much got to see between 20 and 25 patients a day.
Were you with them or were you?
I was with him, so I would follow him around, and then with surgery, we did between 3 and 5 surgeries with him.
I understand he has or had some very famous patients.
I know he works with a lot of athletes. He was working with college, somewhere on the East Coast, but he's pretty popular.
What do they do for torn rotator cuffs?
What I got from this is they insert like 3 anchors around the shoulder and then ties a series of knots in order to stabilize it.
Other questions?
Did you ever feel sick during surgery?
Um, I thought I would be, but luckily like the first 3 or 4 surgeries that I saw were just like the small incisions, so I saw them cut a little bit. There was one time during a bicep surgery where he actually cut it all open and stretched out the skin and made me come like look. And I kind of just try to stare at it for as long as possible to get the feeling out. That was probably the worst part.
When did you discover your interest in medicine?
Honestly, before my injury, I probably wouldn't have liked this field at all. But after I got injured, just seeing like the process of getting back, and it's interested me. And it was kind of interesting because his physician's assistant, actually had the same experience. He broke his wrist playing baseball, and then he shadowed his doctor, and then that's pretty much.